Hi, everyone. Don Lemon here. They want us to bow to the altar of the trans community instead of bowing to God. That is what a hyperbolic host on Fox News said this weekend in reference to MAGA World's latest absurd obsession. If you haven't yet heard about the trans Easter controversy, turn up the volume. I'm about to fill you in. It all starts with a statement from the White House on Friday, and it reads, in part, "On Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans and reaffirm our nation's commitment to forming a more perfect union where all people are created equal and treated equally throughout their lives." Okay, that is a nice, rather basic boilerplate statement of inclusion and freedom of expression, part of the First Amendment to the Constitution, by the way, right? Well, no, not to some, not to Trump Republicans. See, while Trans Day of Visibility has been celebrated on March 31st since 2009, which means it was celebrated on that day as well during the Trump administration, but I digress. This year, Easter also happened to fall on March 31st. Easter, you may know, moves around based on the lunar cycle. So this year, they shared a date. And MAGA right world went apoplectic. The governor of Mississippi claiming that Biden's recognition of both was an attempt to insult and mock Christians. One conservative commentator even called Joe Biden a literal demon. Take a listen to this conversation that took place on Fox.
To celebrate the day of trans visibility in and of itself is an affront to Christianity, because the Bible says that God made man and he made woman. He made male and female. To say otherwise is to deny the truth, is to deny God's creation. Also, to do it on Easter is blasphemous. You can even go back to the last Trans Day of Visibility in 2023. He celebrated after Christian individuals were murdered by a trans person at the Covenant School in Nashville. And then the White House proceeded to go on and say that it was the trans community under attack, not Christianity. So I am so sorry that I believe that Joe Biden understands the optics of it, and he is doing this intentionally, and he is thumbing his nose at Christians and Easter, and he's essentially spitting in the face of Christians everywhere.
Well, we also have, there's a Virginia mom who told Fox News Digital, Stephanie Lundquist, that, quote, "They are intentionally trying to offend Christians on the holiest of days by forcing gender ideology down their throats. This is reprehensible and unbecoming of our elected representatives." David.
Isn't Joe Biden Catholic?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. I'm with Lisa. This is not a thing. It was made up. It's like Kwanzaa. It was made up by somebody to do something. Who are they appealing to? There are roughly 1.6 million or so people in the U.S., according to some reports, that identify as transgender. Where are they going? But here's what they've done. They're gaslighting the American people because of the coincidence of this made-up day versus an actual day that means something to billions of people worldwide, not just here in the United States. They want us talking about them. And this whole thing with the Easter egg hunt, now I've been to a few of those. It's a lot of fun. You eat a lot of too many eggs. But part of it was people expressing themselves. So now the government, under the Biden auspice, will tell you that you can't present a religious, First Amendment, a religious imagery on an egg. I mean, again, I'm even more cynical than Lisa. This is gaslighting.
I was trying to be calm.
Yeah, how could you be that calm? Because I know you're not. No, but seriously, they're just gaslighting us into this topic. This is false, just like this, quote, Day of Visibility. You're visible every other day of the year.
Well, this is a clear effort and a coordinated effort to remove God from our society and to replace God with false gods. And in this instance, it's the trans community. They clearly want us to bow at the altar of the trans community instead of bow to God.
I imagine some of you are confused as to why far-right Republicans are quite so incensed. This whole controversy seems silly. Religious holidays constantly coincide with other secular celebrations, and trans people are such a small percentage of the population. I was confused too. But then I realized that this is all just projection. It's a deflection as well. The far right has to seize on this issue. It has to go on offense against the Biden administration and trans people because Donald Trump stands as the single most sacrilegious politician to ever lead the Republican Party. And I'm not talking about his divorces or his affairs or even the time that he viciously attacked the Pope. I'm talking about the fact that the man is currently hawking Trump brand Bibles. He is selling them as the only Bible endorsed by President Trump. Talk about blasphemous. Talk about an affront to all God-fearing Christians everywhere. And yet, talking heads on the far right are saying that Joe Biden is a fake Catholic, that Joe Biden is a demon. Saturday Night Live pointed out MAGA world's hypocrisy in a phenomenal sketch this weekend. Take a look, and I'll catch you on the other side.
I'm selling Bibles. Look at this beautiful Bible. It's my favorite book. I've definitely read it. My favorite part is probably the ending. How it all wraps up. But this is a very special Bible, and it can be yours for the high price of $60. But I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for the glory of God.
When they're good, they're good. But in all seriousness, I can't get over the gall of these MAGA folks, of these fake Christians. You attack Joe Biden for saying all people are created equal, and then you stay silent when Donald Trump sells $60 sacrilegious Bibles? Really? If you're more mad about President Biden calling for compassion and love than Trump's foul mockery of Christianity, then you're not a real Christian. You can have mixed feelings about certain trans issues. Lots of people do. I know some of them. But if you think merely recognizing that trans people exist is demonic, then my friends, you've forgotten the golden rule. You've forgotten the Gospel of Matthew. In everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. MAGA Americans love to cosplay as the most holy, most Christian among us. And yet, time and time again, they refuse to practice what they preach.